The first habit pointed out by the Stoics as debilitating focuses on the danger of clinging to uncontrolled passions. These philosophers argued that intense and unchecked emotions can cloud judgment, leading to impulsive decisions and irrational behaviors. Instead of abandoning emotions, Stoics advocate for moderation and understanding to prevent them from becoming destructive forces. Epictetus, in particular, emphasized the importance of cultivating serenity and emotional self-discipline. This involves not allowing extreme emotions to dictate our actions. Rather than giving into rage, unchecked fear, or unbridled euphoria, Stoics propose a more balanced approach. The key lies in observing our emotions, understanding their roots, and consciously deciding how to respond to them. Furthermore, Stoics advocated for the practice of passionate indifference, recognizing that certain things are beyond our control. By freeing ourselves from excessive pursuit of pleasure and avoidance of pain, we can maintain greater mental and moral clarity. Thus, by learning to guide our emotions instead of being dominated by them, we strengthen our ability to make informed decisions and stay calm amid emotional fluctuations. The second habit that the Stoics identified as debilitating revolves around the importance of constant self-reflection. This practice involves a reflective and deep examination of our actions, thoughts, and motivations. According to Stoic philosophy, individuals who do not engage in self-reflection tend to get stuck in harmful behavior patterns without realizing it. Epictetus, Seneca, and other Stoics advocated for the need to regularly review our actions and decisions. By doing so, we can identify areas for improvement and personal growth. Constant self-reflection not only allows us to recognize our virtues but also to identify and address areas where we can be more virtuous. This habit strengthens the ability to learn from experiences and avoids blindly repeating mistakes. By dedicating time to introspection, we develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and our goals. Constant self-reflection, in the Stoic tradition, is not only a means for personal improvement but also a vital tool for living a fuller and more ethical life. Cultivating self-reflection thus becomes a path to authenticity and self-awareness, crucial elements for human flourishing according to Stoic philosophy. The third habit, from the Stoic perspective, involves the tendency to seek external validation instead of finding it internally. This debilitating habit implies excessive dependence on the approval and recognition of others to feel valuable or successful. Epictetus and other Stoic philosophers argue that tying our sense of worth to others' opinions is a constant source of distress and emotional vulnerability. Instead of tirelessly pursuing external approval, Stoics advocated for basing our worth on internal principles and alignment with our own virtues and values. Cultivating emotional self-sufficiency and self-acceptance is essential to counteract this habit. Instead of being at the mercy of others, changing opinions, Stoics propose seeking validation in our own ethical actions and our contribution to the common good. By freeing ourselves from the constant need for external approval, we gain the freedom to live according to our principles, thus building an internal fortitude unaffected by the fluctuating opinions of others. The fourth habit, according to Stoic philosophy, warns against the tendency to obsess over either the past or the future at the expense of the present. Stoics recognize that anxiety and regret stemming from excessive attention to the past, or exaggerated worry and anticipation about the future, can weaken our ability to fully live in the present moment. Epictetus, in particular, emphasized the importance of focusing on the here and now. Becoming fixated on past events beyond our control or worrying excessively about what is to come only serves to distract us from the opportunities and challenges of the present. Cultivating mindfulness and acceptance of the present is essential to overcome this debilitating habit. Stoics advocated for the practice of mindful attention, which involves staying aware and engaged with the present moment. By doing so, we can face challenges with wisdom, learn from past experiences without getting trapped in them, and approach the future with informed preparedness rather than excessive anxiety. This Stoic approach underscores the importance of living meaningfully in the present, making the most of each moment. The fifth habit, according to Stoic philosophy, highlights the risk of resisting change. Stoics understand that life is fluid and change is inevitable. Epictetus, Seneca, and other philosophers taught that stubbornly clinging to the comfort of routine and resisting change can weaken our ability to adapt and grow. Resistance to change often stems from fear of the unknown or the discomfort that may accompany new experiences. However, Stoics propose embracing change as an opportunity to learn, evolve, and strengthen oneself. They consider adaptability a crucial virtue for facing life's challenges with equanimity. Cultivating an open mindset and learning to see change as a constant in life can help us face transitions with more confidence and resilience. Instead of resisting, Stoics encourage us to embrace change with courage, recognizing it as an inherent force in human existence. By adopting this perspective, we can develop greater adaptability and flow with life's ups and downs rather than struggling against them. The sixth habit identified by the Stoics as debilitating relates to the constant pursuit of superficial pleasures at the expense of seeking deeper meaning and purpose in life. Philosophers like Seneca warned about the dangers of a life focused solely on the immediate satisfaction of fleeting desires. According to Stoic philosophy, the exclusive pursuit of momentary pleasures can lead to an empty and meaningless existence in the long run. Stoics propose the idea of more lasting and meaningful pleasures that arise from living in accordance with deeper virtues and values. By cultivating a life based on ethical principles and meaningful contributions, Stoics argue that one experiences a deeper and more lasting satisfaction. This debilitating habit involves giving up instant gratification in favor of more transcendent goals and achievements, thereby contributing to a deeper sense of fulfillment and wholeness. Instead of constantly seeking temporary pleasures, Stoics advocate for a life where joy and satisfaction naturally arise from living in harmony with higher principles and purposes. The seventh habit pointed out by the Stoics addresses the evasion of personal responsibility. These philosophers argue that avoiding or denying responsibility for our actions weakens autonomy and personal authority. Epictetus, in particular, emphasized the importance of taking full responsibility for our decisions and behaviors. Stoic philosophy emphasizes that by avoiding responsibility, we deprive ourselves of the opportunity to learn and grow. Instead of blaming external circumstances or others, Stoics promote introspection and the total acceptance of responsibility for our choices. Accepting personal responsibility is an empowering act, recognizing that we have control over our actions and decisions. Stoics believe that facing the consequences of our choices, both positive and negative, is essential for the development of virtue and inner strength. Thus, the eighth habit emphasizes the importance of adopting a proactive stance toward life, taking the helm of our decisions, and fully accepting responsibility for the course we take. The eighth habit identified by the Stoics as debilitating addresses the human tendency to constantly compare oneself to others. From the Stoic perspective, this practice weakens self-esteem and can lead to an unsatisfactory self-appreciation. Philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca warned about the dangers of measuring one's personal worth based on circumstances and relative successes compared to others. Stoics argue that each individual is unique, with distinct circumstances and abilities. Constantly comparing oneself to others generates dissatisfaction, envy, and a perpetual search for external validation. Instead of looking outside oneself to assess worth, Stoics advocate for focusing on one's own progress and the development of internal virtue. Cultivating self-acceptance and recognizing intrinsic value regardless of external comparisons is essential to overcome this debilitating habit. Stoics propose self-appreciation based on conformity to ethical principles and constant effort for improvement. By freeing oneself from constant comparisons, one can experience greater inner peace and build self-esteem grounded in personal values and virtues. This habit, from the Stoic perspective, underscores the importance of embracing uniqueness and cultivating a deep self-appreciation. According to Stoic philosophy, the focus is on the human tendency to constantly compare oneself with others. This debilitating habit, according to Epictetus and other Stoic philosophers, poses significant risks to emotional well-being and self-esteem. The Stoics warned that constant comparison with others can lead to feelings of dissatisfaction, envy, and a perpetual sense of not being good enough. Establishing standards based on others, circumstances and achievements can result in an incessant search for external validation and unfavorable self-evaluation. Instead of looking outside oneself to determine one's own worth, Stoics advocate for self-assessment based on ethical principles and constant effort for improvement. Cultivating self-acceptance and recognizing intrinsic value, regardless of external comparisons, is essential to overcome this debilitating habit. Stoic philosophy suggests that each individual is unique, with particular abilities and circumstances. Focusing on personal progress, learning, and the development of internal virtue is more valuable than constantly comparing oneself to others. By freeing oneself from external expectations and embracing individual uniqueness, one can experience greater inner peace and build a strong self-esteem based on personal values and continuous improvement. This habit emphasizes the importance of focusing on personal growth rather than constant comparison with others.